Welcome to the most beautiful day on Sydney Harbour for Heat 7 of the JJ Giltinan Championships for 2025 for the 18-footers. And boy, what a day we have. A cracker of a day. A beautiful northeasterly sea breeze has been in it relatively early. And we've got about 15 or so knots here at the starting area for this Heat 7. And plenty happened overnight, which we'll bring to you shortly after we get an update on the weather and the course. But a few interesting things came to play. And as I say, shortly we will discuss those. But after 2 days of rather drab racing, I guess, 2 days ago it was pouring with rain and light easterly, southeasterly breezes, and yesterday a very tricky easterly breeze. Today it could not be better for this race 7 of the championship, brought to you by the Winning Group. And today's partner is Marine Outlet. Peter Shipway with Dolly DeVola and Jimmy Bury bringing this to you on behalf of Sale Media. But Dolly, what a day. Tell us what your thoughts are about this breeze, and I'm sure it'll last for the whole race, won't it?
Yeah, beautiful change in conditions, as you say, Pete, from a couple of days ago with rain and then yesterday with light winds. We've got a stunning Sydney day, 28 degrees. It's warm, it's humid, breezes in the northeast, but it hasn't really built that much. At the moment, we're looking at about 11, 12 knots up towards the top. We've seen readings, and we've got the wind gear down on the bottom mark, currently giving us 13 knots from the northeast. But I'm not saying this breeze won't build. Most of the fleet are on the big rig, a few with the small, but we've got the tide, a 0.3 tide turning at 3:10, coming into a 1.6. So a fair bit of tidal movement will be coming into play in about half an hour's time, Pete.
Thank you, Dolly. And Jimmy, we've got the course number 1 up, which you could have guessed that with your eyes closed, I guess. So for those that might not be familiar with the harbour, let's have a look at that course as we say good afternoon to you, Jimmy.
Afternoon, Pete. Yeah, course number 1, northeast course. So we start down near Clark Island. The boats work their way up to the Beacher Buoy up near South Head. They go around that mark, down around Shark Island, jibe around the island, run down to the Marquisette Bot at Clark Island, work their way back up to the Beacher Buoy, run back down to Clark Island, work back up to the Beacher Buoy, down around Shark Island, and a short run to the finish here off Double Bay.
Thank you, Jimmy. And we're about 15 minutes away from the start, but we'll get into the news from overnight as we have a look at the point score, which is now a very interesting, and I'll tell you why it's become very interesting overnight once we get the point score up. There we are. Those highlighted greys are the discards. Now, what has happened yesterday, there were 2 races, if you were watching, and Yandu, who was the series leader, he went into yesterday's 5th heat with 2 first placings. And yesterday, I'd say he didn't have his best day in more ways than one. He finished 7th and 9th, or 9th and 7th, really. So you can now drop a race after yesterday. So Yandu was going to drop a 9th, being his worst place. But what happened in the race, the second race yesterday, where he got 7th, he was penalised 5.8 points for sailing inside the moorings at Point Piper. Yes, that's right, he sailed inside the moorings at Point Piper. Sailing instructions are very specific. You cannot do that. So he took a 5.8 penalty. So that then became his drop, and the 9th that was going to be his drop came into play. So he is now on 13 points, and Finport is on 14 with a drop. So Yandu has got 4 firsts and a 9th. Finport, Keegan York, a 2nd, a 5th, a 3rd, a 2nd, an 8th and a 2nd, dropping 8. He's 8th. He has 14 points. So it's tight, 1 point in it after yesterday's drama. Rag and Famish is 3rd, and after their outstanding win in race 2 yesterday, their best performance certainly of the regatta. And in 4th spot is Smeg. Nathan McNamara, Jed Cruikshank and Jack Taylor. They were the boat of the day yesterday. It was with a first and a fifth. Two New Zealanders then are in fifth and sixth, ASCC and CTEC. Balmain seventh. Shaw and Partners, a terrific performance by Emma Rankin in the second race yesterday, or in both races really. She had a fifth and a third, leading in the second race when they hit the windward mark the last time. They did a penalty turn, but still remained in, or finished third. And then Black Knight is in ninth position, and rounding out the top 10 is Marine Outlet. But as I say, really the day belonged yesterday to Smeg, and a short time ago I spoke to their skipper, Nathan McNamara.
What a good day yesterday.
Yeah.
Great win in that first race.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Tricky day though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really tricky.
Yeah, I managed to find a spot on the start line and actually stick it and basically get off the line nicely. And yeah, basically, went back to our river sailing where we all started off and picked all the shifts and then paid off.
And a gutsy manoeuvre, that jibe set at the first mark, and everyone went the other way.
Yeah, it took a risk. With all the boats there, it was a bit congested, but no, it didn't pay off that first time. But yeah, we had speed downhill, so it was beautiful.
And the second race, well, you hung in there as well for a fifth place.
It was deep off the start, but managed to claw our way back through it. Just that light stuff, we're just Smeg weather. It was awesome. Yeah.
You're good in the light.
We're quite light crew, but I don't know, we've always been fast in that kind of stuff, and the boys love it.
Looks today we've got a bit more breeze on a good nor'easterly course by the look of it.
Yeah, I think it should be like 14 knots, so kind of on the verge for us of the switch over. We'll have to wait and see. A little bit later, I think it's a lovely day on Sydney Harbour, so we'll see what happens.
So where did sailing begin for you?
Up the river, Abbotsford. So right up the river.
Flat water up there.
Flat water, plenty of tide. That's where it all started, and then basically.
Was that in Flying Elevens or?
Sabbos.
Sabbos.
Yeah, so I learned to sail sailboats with my brother, and then basically moved into cherubs while I was there. Then moved into cherubs at Drummoyne, and then basically moved our way up the harbour.
Great. Well, fourth overall. Can you hang in there?
Oh,
get up the top.
Yeah, give it a crack.
Terrific. Well, good luck today, and well done yesterday.
Thank you very much. Thank
you. Good on you. Well, Nathan, what a good day yesterday.
Yeah,
great win in that.
One of the bright young skippers of the 18-footer fleet after a great performance yesterday, Nathan McNamara. So we're back at the starting area now. We're just looking at the kitchen maker. It is a beautiful day if you've just joined us on the harbour. The breeze, 12 knots perhaps, but I think, Dolly, probably a big sail breeze at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the heavier crews, definitely.
Yeah, no, it's nowhere near top-end big rig just yet. I mean, like I said, it could build. The boats that I can confirm have gone small rig, Noakes, Shaw and Partners, Skiff Ropes, Red Rockstar, and I believe the Rag and Fanish, Pete, which is an interesting decision from those guys to go with a different rig to their close opposition is quite a gamble. So
they're definitely on 2 rig. I spoke to them just before we left the dock, and they're on number 2 rig. So today's race, we're going for the Bill Miller Memorial Trophy. Now, Bill was an Commodore of the Double Bay 18-footer club, the Australian League, from 1945 right through to 1988. And he built and raced 8 18-footers named Donnelly, a famous name on the harbour in that period. And he travelled the world, really promoting the class with his own money. And I'm sure he would be pleased to see the popularity of the class at the moment. And Bill's daughter, Denise, will be presenting the trophy at the club post-race. So that's a great thrill for the Miller family, and Bill, a fantastic contributor to what we have today in the 18-footers. So racing today for the Bill Miller Memorial Trophy. Only one race today on the nor'easterly course in a breeze at about 12 or 13 knots maximum. There's Yandu, the series leader, only by 1 point. So that upset the apple cart a bit overnight, Dole, didn't it?
It certainly did. It's changed the landscape in the boat park considerably, bringing Finport and Keegan and Rag into contention. Just what you were saying about Billy Miller, there too, shippers. Obviously, I had the privilege of knowing him. He was a great fella, and we've had tuning in pretty much every day. I think his grandson, Mitch.
That's right.
Who was a skiff sailor back in the day and quite an accomplished yachty. He's moved up to Papua New Guinea not that long ago. So, Mitch, if you're watching from Port Moresby, great to see a race in your grandfather's honour.
Yes, well, he sent a note through earlier to Jimmy Bury from Mitch and updated us on all the details about his auntie Denise presenting the trophy. So thank you, Mitch, and must be very proud of the legacy that your grandfather has left to the 18-footers. So, again, I just cannot tell you how thrilled we are to hear of all these comments that are coming through on the live chat. All our regulars are there. You know who you are. Joy Brown, it's really nice to have you back after the dramas of the cyclone up your way on Bribie Island, and you're going well. That's terrific. Who's there? I think Glenn York's there. Shopping's done early, pool clean, car washed and polished. Now time to sit down and enjoy the racing. Well, I think if you could sell your services there, you could get a few jobs there, Glenn. But anyway, I'm sure you'll enjoy today. And the performance of Finport has been so consistent, and he finds himself just 1 point off the lead. Dave Grogan's there, and Mick Ralph, Ian Barnard, Norm Anderson. I know I miss a few, but there's just so many of you, and we thank you. The Yankee Express, Keelan Landry. Mick Ralph must get up early. Doesn't have much to do. He's on very early. This chat, we started at about 2. He's on at about 6 a.m, I think. But anyway, good on you, Mick. Peter Routley's there. Peter Firminger. So, again, the Sale Media team really appreciate that, and thank you for your very kind comments. And Russell Moore, very good comment, Russell. I think this is directed at you, Dolly.
What have I done now?
He says, now remember, commentators, if Emma gets in front, mum's the word.
I did go and see Emma in the park and offer her a little apology for putting the curse on her, but she was ecstatic.
Yeah, she'd have to be.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah.
Steve S. is there from Star, Idaho. Hello to you, Steve. Max Crittenden from Borrego Springs, California. Fleur Hikings is there. She's in the office again. Fleur, I hope you're doing some work. Oh, Angus Roxburgh's back as we hear the hooter for 5 minutes. So we're almost underway for Heat 7 of the JJs for 2025. Yandu, a 1 point leader on the scoreboard from Finport, Rag and Famish and the Smeg boys. Paul McNamara will be there, I'm sure. We must be thrilled after that performance yesterday from that young team on Smeg. But what's the breeze, Dole? 12 knots here. I'd say maybe 11, perhaps. Nothing great, is it?
It's looking a bit lighter than when we first came out, I think.
Yes, I think the Rag boys wouldn't probably like what they're seeing. But anyway, they're a pretty good team.
Down to 11 knots at the bottom mark at the moment.
And the harbour, not too many yachts out. I won't put a curse on it. A few boats and ferries, but a reasonably clear track up to the Beeshall Buoy the first time. So 3 windwards, 2 triangles and a windward leeward as we hear the hooter for 4 minutes. The countdown is on. 3 minutes 55 to go.
Pretty good spectator fleet out here watching today, I might add. That's probably most of the boats that are on the harbour are here to watch the 18-footers, which is fantastic.
Well, most of them skippered by people that know what they're doing. So.
Even the second spectator ferry today.
I told you not to mention that, Jimmy. Large white vessel in behind us.
Okay, coming up to 3 minutes 20.
Start line that Hughes laid looks like a pretty even line to me, Pete, so that should give us a fairly even line for the boats to run over towards Bradley's Head. Probably see our sort of standard
Get to Bradley's. Yep.
get to Bradley's, try and get there first and tack, and I think we'll see most of the boats looking at the eastern shore, eastern side of the harbour.
Hello to Andrew Crisp, an old friend. He's in Montreal, minus 10 degrees. Well, hope you're well, Crispy. Keep that school jumper on, mate. That'll warm you up, I'm sure. And one of the great characters of skiff sailing, Andrew Crisp. Old 12-footer skiff, mate.
He told me he needed a school jumper over there.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does. There's a long story to that, so I won't go into that. I certainly won't go into that. And we've got 2:25 to go, and the breeze is down at still a great sailing breeze. It's a terrific breeze. Beautiful day on the harbour, full-on sunshine.
Couple more I noted have got small rig on. Pete, just quickly, Gotcha for Life, Honda Marine, Skiff Ropes, Red, Rockstar and Allen, UK.
So they're on the short rigs, and
it looks like sixth too.
Sixth is coming up to under 2 minutes. And the Bill Miller Memorial Trophy, today's partner for the race is Marine Outlet. Great supporters. They've got their skiff out there that's in the top 10 at the moment. And, of course, the series brought to you by the winning group. So they're just starting to hang back a little now with a countdown to a minute 30. A couple of questions have been asked. Where is Andu? Andu has been in retirement this year. It's in the shed and has not been sailing. It hasn't been renamed another boat. So when we'll see that again is anybody's guess. But Rag and Famish down to Leeward, where he got that great start in the second race yesterday. But he's on second rig, don't forget.
Which is why he's down there, Pete.
Yeah,
He'll be looking to get a run so he can put his bow down and go fast.
He wants every bit of pressure and clean air that he's got. Up the windward end is Yandu and Vycobi. There's Yandu just left of screen, Vycobi above him. 45 seconds to go. The fleet at the well. Vycobi's bailed out. He was going to get squeezed, I think. Yandu looks reasonably placed here at the committee boat end at the moment. Where's Finport? I can't see him. He's in the he's in the middle.
Kitchen maker.
Oh
there.
Yes, he's in a bit of a trap there. Old Keegan. We've got 25 seconds to go. Yandu looks strong. Vycobi took a turn, has come back at the weather end, and there's the Bigfoot. The Queenslanders down to leeward with above them Rag and Famish, and behind them the Goat from the UK, and in poking their nose in is Noakes there. Here's the windward end. And we're looking pretty good, I think. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh. Late on the hooter, and
There's one.
A bit out.
Victoria were close. No, it's a general.
He changed his mind.
He put the individual up and then had a rethink, and he's on to a general. We're in a general recall.
Good thing for Yandu. They got spat out at the boat end.
They did right at the end there, though. It looked strong, and then Vycobi rolled them, and also the Akarana Retri and Smeg. They were strong too, but anyway, it counts for naught. We go back and do it all again. Yes, the looks breeze where we are at Double Bay, Clark Island. It's reasonably light. A bit further, about a couple of 100 metres up the course, it looks better pressure. But we'll see as we get towards Bradley's what transpires.
Not looking great here at the moment for a second rig.
Definitely not.
No, you'd be a bit nervous.
There's no clouds out to the east here, like out past Double Bay, which normally funnels that nor'easter and makes it build. So,
and the tide change is a little late in the afternoon for me to trigger a build. But anyway, we'll wait and see after 3 for when that tide changes.
Now, Dolly, 24 hours ago, I gave you a trivia question, so I gave you ample opportunity to go on Google or Facebook or X or whatever. Who said to Terry McDell, if your boat is going fast, everything else turns to gold?
And I did zero homework, and Chits reminded me a little while ago, did I do my homework? And I didn't, but I'm going to have a stab and I'll say David Porter.
That's a good guess, but hopelessly wrong. But in that era, it was Bobby Holmes, the late and great Bobby Holmes, multiple winner of the JJs. He told that to Terry, and Terry related that yesterday at lunch at the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron.
Well, I should have known that, because Bobby was a great friend of mine and his crew, Huey Cook, and I miss them both terribly. Great men of skiff sailing.
Certainly were. That's Bobby knew how to sail those 18s and 16s, and sadly passed away a couple of years ago. But we're just reminding you, if you've just joined us on the harbour for race 7 of the JJs for this year, we have a general recall, and we're going to start again shortly. The flags are down, so we must be close to a 5-minute sequence here. And the breeze is starting to trickle down a little bit more, but it's definitely big sail here at the starting area. There we go, 5 minutes to go.
Black flag as well.
Oh, the naughty flag is up. Okay, that'll keep them honest.
Of course it is.
That'll keep them honest.
Hugh, not one to mess around.
No, you could have put your house on that, I think, that the black flag would go up.
As Hugh has always said, he goes, if it's the sailor's fault, he's straight to black. If it's his fault, he'll give him another go.
Yeah.
But it's never his fault.
Never, mate.
Off camera, I dare say, there's the Captain Cook cruisers. Just come round behind the fleet. Good on him today, and he's
waited patiently back there, Pete, for that start sequence.
Excellent. Full marks. There he is, but he's powering up the course now.
Can you give him a compliment for a change?
I just well done. Yeah, well done. Yeah. It's only early days. We've got a few more races to go, but anyway, good on him. There's the harbour. Beautiful day, as I said. A bit of cloud away to the northwest. Countdown on now, just under 4 minutes. A lot of ex-skiffies out today on the ferry. They've come throughout the week down to all parts of the world. I saw Dave Slingsby, an old mate of mine, father of Tom Slingsby. He and his Gosford mates are down today out on the ferry, so good to see Dave. Still sailing up at Gosford in the twilights, he told me last night. So, terrific bloke, and we did a lot of ocean racing together. So, 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, I met Chris Rodowitz in the park.
Yeah, I saw Chris there.
Yeah, and we've got Phil Barnett and Brett Van Munster's down here, obviously with his wife Lisa, the race sponsor for the day, Marine Outlet.
And Jimmy Beck was seen wandering around.
Yeah, I saw Jimmy. Yeah,
they're all coming out of the woodwork, Jimmy.
Steamer was there with his portfolio of photos, of trophies and
photos
other things.
Of trophies and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Old boats. One of the great enthusiasts. Okay, 250, breeze, 11 knots best here at the starting area. That's the view, looking back to the famous Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Sydney skyline. There are a lot of boats out to watch, aren't they, which is nice. They're hanging back at the weather side, which is, as you'd expect for people that have got interest in sailing, they know where to hide. And that's the view looking back into Double Bay where the boats rig up in the park and the 18-footer club. But that's the fleet. That's the pin end, the leeward end down in the foreground. And you can see the grey committee boat up the top. Just over 2 to go. Black flag in play.
And it just come up to 14 knots at the Wedding Cape, Pete. So when we move up the course, hopefully we'll be getting a little bit more pressure. 3
or 4 knots more. But it's not that fresh here, so it'll be a big test for the Rag and Famish. Third on the point score at the moment on 21 points with a drop. Trailing Yandu on 13, Finport on 14. Finport was second to Rag and Famish in the second race yesterday. Here we go. There'll be a bit of holding back on this one. Yandu now down in the middle of the line, which is interesting. He was up the top end at the first start. Where's the Rag? Is the Rag? There he is. His most leeward boat again. Oh no, Lazarus is down there as well, off camera. And he's down there with SeaTech, the New Zealand boat. They're both they tack back, yes. Coming back to try and tack under the fleet, I would think. just coming up to 1 minute. Oh, C-Tex did a big jibe down there, but there's the rag. A bit lonely down the bottom end. He just needs speed to get to Bradley's. Then you've got to get that tack in and cross the fleet. Here we go. At the weather end, Vycobi is right up at this weather end on the committee boat. 45 seconds. Balmain back a little, ASCC's there. Smeg's up there as well. Yandu in the middle of the line. Just above the Burrowang. You see Burrowang clear with that blue vertical stripe down the luff of his mainsail. Lazarus is down there. He's coming behind the fleet, taking a lot of sterns, Tom Cunich. Now Vycobi's got spat out at the windward end. Yandu's holding back a little. 15 seconds. Don't forget, black flag. If you're over, it's all over. The rag just starting to wind up a bit down the leeward end. 5 seconds. Here we go. We're a go in the middle.
Oh, they're pushing it, Pete.
Okay,
Jeepers.
we're away. The Black Knight was one that was advanced middle line.
And Royal Oak.
And Royal Oak.
Both looked at risk to me.
Committee boat and Smeg got it. Absolute ripper from Nathan McNamara. Lazarus coming across on port, just near the committee boat.
Oh, near the committee boat, Pete. They're about to mount the committee boat.
Yeah, that was just a bit of a misjudgment for the Lazarus boys. Anyway, they're away. There they are. Straight on to port. They took the whole fleet behind their sterns, but they're off to Bradley's, the majority of the fleet, in not much wind, probably 12, 13 knots at best.
Great start from the Smeg and Yandu, I've got to say.
Terrific start from Smeg. He's hit form at the right time, but anyway, it's a long course, a lot of sailing to go here. And there's Yandu. You can see him stepping out at the moment with the red and blue oval, the white sails as opposed to the black carbon sails. We'll get a confirmation from start boat when we can who was over. There's, as I say, there's no recall flags go up. If you're over, you don't get notified. You'll find out when you cross the finishing line. So we'll get Jimmy to get in touch with the race officer to see what happened. But here's the run to Bradley's.
Finport fairly well positioned too. He was just tucked in behind Royal Oak and Black Knight. He's managed to step out. So
just got confirmation from Hugh Lester, a clear start. Shippo, so
good news.
Everyone's off and racing.
That's terrific news. So don't have to worry about the evil black flag clobbering someone. But this is the top of the fleet going towards Bradley's, and already it's rag prominent with that second sail. Yandu also, and Finport. They're the three leaders on the point score. Surprise, surprise, they're in the top half dozen. But there's the Queenslanders right, and there's Yandu, Shaw and Partners on the second rig also, and then to the left, C-Tech.
So now Rag doing well with the second rig.
They are, and the breeze is a little bit more from off the starting line here at Bradley's. Rag's got about 80 metres to go into Bradley's before he's got to get a lane to go back. Finport looks strong, and above Finport, who's that? Oh, it's the Black Knight. He got a terrific start. He was the first really to put the pedal down. He jumped out nicely, he with the Royal Oak. But this is a good test here. Yandu, oh, the Bigfoot's jib come astray there. His jib sheet's broken, has it?
The bowman has gone up the bow there, so the attachment, they just sit on little rings inside the jib.
Yeah.
They've popped off.
That's a disappointment for the Bigfoot. They were well placed. Okay, we're watching now some boats starting to bail out. Bigfoot's going to go backwards. Okay, there's the rag tacking right at the top of the screen. So Yandu well ahead. But in the bottom here is the Black Knight and Finport. Yandu, I think, will cross. If he can get across Finport. There goes Yandu. He's just tacked. Here we go. Oh, yes. Clear cross. Clear cross. That's Finport closest to him. Marine Outlet. There's Finport. Marine Outlet tacking. And the Black Knight. So Finport extending a bit further in towards Bradley, as is the Black Knight.
Bigfoot's Sorry, guys, the
All right.
Bigfoot's still with that problem. It's very easy to fix on the beach.
Yes.
Extremely hard out here on the water.
Rags doing a big duck behind Wealth. Oh, he tacked back and now he's gone back onto port. Rag, he got a little bit, I don't know what he did there. He did a massive duck on Wealth, but we're right at Bradley's and there's not much breeze, Dol. Be lucky to be 10 knots here. Maybe 11, a little bit more, but at the moment, lovely 10 knot, 11 knot sailing breeze, nor'easter. Majority on big rigs except the Rag out of the top group on second rig, as is Shaw and Partners. But there's Smeg and Wealth. They're right in on Bradley's. Oh, real bad tack on the Wealth boys.
No, they're just stalling it up with C-Tech coming across on starboard.
They did come out of the right-hand side there, C-Tech. Slowed themselves down, but they're the leaders. Yandu, conditions that she's done well in the first 2 races, but Yandu leads going towards Shark Island in the middle of the harbour. Tide would be pretty slack at the moment, I would think. We've spotted early kumquat award. There's a power boat just sitting upwind of the fleet. That's a good place to be. Bit of wash, but anyway.
Yeah, he's just trying to find a path through. What I can see, Pete, is that Yandu and Finport have got their mainsails well under control, nicely flattened out, and setting nicely. Whereas C-Tech and the Black Knight were starting to go inside out.
Bit wobbly.
Yeah.
Oh, he's that's the race leader. He's jumped away nicely. We're about third of the way up the first beat to the Beechel buoy. And there's a big group fighting out for in the middle of the fleet and going into Taylor's Bay. You can see them top of screen. But Yandu, conditions that she normally favours. But anyway, Finport's right in the game. Keegan York, Gus Williams and Matt Stenner. They've sailed a very consistent regatta, as I said earlier, but Yandu leads. That's Finport above him and a little bit advanced as we look at it, but when he comes back, Yandu will be clear ahead. So all the fleet now, most of them on starboard, and the most lured boat into Taylor's Bay is Rag and Famish.
Found himself a nice little lane of clear air and pressure.
He needs pressure, the Rag, on that number 2 rig. Pretty even Stevens in speed, but at the moment it's Yandu now just right at top of screen. You might not be able to see, but the Rag has tacked. He's behind Marine Outlet. He'll be behind the Royal Oak, is he? Yes, he is. He'll be behind the Victorians having their best outing. And Rag would be about, could be 8th or 9th.
He's been a bit unlucky so far. He just keeps getting caught up in the traffic.
Good smooth water here, isn't it? Lovely smooth water. The Royal Oak.
I don't know what's going on with them, this regatta. Every tack is just horrible on the Royal Oak. They changed up a combination through the boat or something. It's just not working for them.
New manoeuvres, Jimmy, that's called. Different manoeuvres.
Had all year to try that.
Yeah, we're at the big dance. It should be sorted out by now.
So Yandu across Taylor's Bay, just tacking. Okay, going out, just covering off on Finport. That's his game, that's no doubt about that. Finport, the closest boat to him in this race and closest to him on the point score. There's Rag in the background. He's seen there with a very bright sail insignia, Rag and Famish Hotel. But he's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, I'd say. But not quite halfway up this beat to the Beechel buoy. Yandu, Finport, probably Black Knight or C-Tech. There's Rag and Smeg, and Victorians just behind them, and then to leeward of that is the Honda. And Smeg looks pretty smart.
again, getting through the water nicely, Nathan and his crew. See, they're just starting to advance on Rag and Famish there.
So back on the race leader. ASCC off camera taking a few sterns between the Royal Oak and Wealth.
But looking at Yandu there again, they are right. Look, we're just right on board there with the drone. They're just going to attack now, but you could see how smooth and fast they were getting through the water.
Well, they're just putting this cover on Finport, that's for sure. Finport came back. That's them. They're about halfway across the harbour between Steel Point and Chowder Head. That's beautiful.
Sea-Tech in the foreground.
Yeah.
You're about to see Black Knight appear on the left. There they are there now. So Black Knight probably close to third, are they, Pete, I think?
I think so. Marine Outlet well up also. Smeg again, and then Rag and Famish. Sea-Tech have tacked right up and Chowder Head in a beautiful vein of pressure. So it's still game on. Yandu got themselves in front and they're just maintaining that distance. Okay, there's a dip from Sea-Tech from Marine Outlet. The Gundy boys and Josh Perepsky. And that's all the leading group. Yandu, Finport. Going into Chowder Bay, Clifton Gardens.
Track from Marine Outlet coming up. They're having a good day on the day where their sponsor is the race sponsor.
Yeah. Looking for this left-hander in Chowder Bay, which is more often than not here. There's Finport. Yandu. Yandu keeping a very close eye, as you'd expect, on Finport. Smeg very much in top half dozen. Yandu's tacked. He's let Finport go this time. Finport's going to extend right into Clifton Gardens, but before he goes, there he goes now. You'll see Yandu. There's Yandu. There's a bit of a gain to Yandu there, I think. But out in the middle, the Black Knight coming back on starboard. You can see him coming back on starboard. He could be close to second.
He was very close to Finport on the last cross.
It's a lovely big sail breeze here. That's not the news that Harry Price wants on the Rag. There's the Black Knight coming up to converge with Finport. Gee, it's lovely conditions, isn't it? Look at it, flat water, 10, 11 knots of breeze. Hard to not like this. So this is race 7. If you've just joined us, we had a general recall, but we got them away at the second attempt, as you'd expect with a black flag.
Here comes the cross.
Just close, I think. Black Knight's got him.
Keegan's got to dip a little.
Yeah. Good sailing from Heinrich.
Nice and close, but Yandu just that little notch.
Just a little bit quicker, no?
Yeah. A little quicker, a little higher. But so far, Yandu and the Black Knight have managed to keep in touch.
So the order as we look at it, about say 2/3 the way up the first beat. Yandu, Black Knight and Finport, Marine Outlet, then perhaps Smeg. But as Jimmy's pointed out, there's a ferry bound for Manly. He's going down the Eastern Channel, Jimmy.
Yeah, very unusual, but...
anyway, courteous.
Courteous, yes, very.
Full marks to them. Those Manly ferry boys, they do a terrific job. Of course, they've got right away on the harbour. And the skiffs have got to acknowledge that. But when you get a skipper that's courteous like that, we have got to pay him every compliment we can. Gee, it's got lighter up here, Dole, as we approach the weather mark, haven't we?
Yeah,
we're lucky to be 10 knots.
12 knots, I reckon, up here we've got at the moment.
If that.
Definitely big rig conditions,
Yeah,
but the Rag is, of the little rigs, the Rag is managing to hang in and hang on.
Yeah. So that's the Western Channel pie light, just to right of screen. Those that know the harbour, so Yandu's stepping out from there. And I think he's extended here. It's a reasonable lead. and C-Tech behind the Black Knight. Black Knight across. Back on Yandu. He's halfway between the two channel pie lights, the east and the west, as he's tacking now.
Little cross there.
With Smeg and Rag and Famish and Vycobi. And there's Smeg. See the difference in the rigs there, I think. Yep. So, approaching the weather mark the first time, the Michel boy, famous name in 18-footers, Skiff sailing on the harbour, the Michel family name. Beautiful day on the harbour.
And I think after yesterday, the Yandu boys were going to come out today punching. They would have been a little bit disappointed and a bit disappointed in themselves copping that penalty. And they've come out firing, that's for sure.
Yeah, I shrugged my shoulders at Fang before with the palms up, and he just went, it is what it is, you know, like Fang being Fang, he just, that's yesterday, let's get on with it.
Yeah. Yesterday is gone, today is the only day. So there we're looking up at Finport, isn't it? I can see that. Coming up with the Black Knight.
So the battle is on for second, really, but Yandu clearly ahead. He's on the ley line to come in here, and we'll get a delta here. It could be reasonably significant early on.
Gee, they're looking nice. They are just so settled in that boat, aren't they, Jimmy? Just sailing it so well.
Yeah, easy lay. Just gear off a little bit now. Tom Needham, Fang Warren, Louis Brake. Jib off, away they go. Not much breeze, probably 10 knots, 11 in a little puff. Or they're around and the clock is running. So the battle really for second. I think Finport's going to do it. I think he'll be second. He's still coming up on starboard. He's got one more tack to come in, and Yandu's away. There they are. There's Finport. Still a long way to go up to this weather mark. Already it's been 20 seconds.
That was a beautiful set. They're just so polished. That spinnaker didn't flap. It was up quick. It was out quick. Crew were on the wing straight away,
so
and they were
there's
accelerating.
A stack on the port tack ley line here, led by Finport.
Yeah.
So next around is Finport, and the delta is 43 seconds. Black Knight will follow them, and then Josh Porepsky has wriggled his way or sailed his way into fourth spot. Okay, Black Knight around. You'll see the Marine Outlet. They're around. And then right behind them, C-Tech from New Zealand.
Another boat looking for some redemption after yesterday. Didn't have the best of days on the harbour yesterday.
There's a bit of congestion coming now. There's this starboard roundie always causes some drama. So ASCC, top place New Zealand at the moment. Starboard's being yelled. ASCC next. After him will be Smeg on the outside of Vycobi. Oh, starboard. Okay, Smeg's around, Vycobi's around. Then the kitchen maker. Good job from those boys. Then Akarana Eatery. Wealth. And then the Rag is around. Wow, he's deep at the moment. Bit of work to do. He's jibing straight away.
Jobbing straight away into the path of Lazarus.
Balmain around the outside. Oh, Rag got all messed up there. They did a jibe set. Lazarus is coming up on starboard. Had to get out of there. Oh, that was a bit of desperation stuff. But anyway, there's Wells just jibed.
Got to say, some pretty good steering from Harry Price there, though. They jibed. and then jibed back, and he was solo keeping that boat upright.
A bit
while
more
the boys
breeze
were
coming
setting.
down behind the fleet now, but we're off to Shark Island, and the breeze a little bit in the right. They're getting down pretty low here.
Interestingly, Yandu hasn't jived out, Pete. He's gone right through under the point, and
he will have to jibe, but
just jibing now. Yeah,
he's right down on Steel Point, meaning the breeze is a little bit in the right.
The other thing, Pete, I haven't seen Bigfoot come up towards the top mark. So
no, they had that jib problem. That's to Bradley's head. They might have unfortunately had to turn back and go home.
Maybe something they couldn't fix, unfortunately.
So that's second place Finport. Behind Marine Outlet in third is the Black Knight. Marine Outlet fifth now. Sea-Tech's got in front of him. So now, as always, the critical jibe back to Shark Island. They've got jibe to go out on starboard, then you've got to come back and judge this on port. So Finport not far off a jibe. Yandu has already gone out on starboard and coming back on port. Beautiful afternoon on the harbour. Finport jibes. Nice jibe from that polished team. But Yandu have done it. Jumped him again a little. There's Yandu smoking down the run to Shark Island.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when we get a little bit closer because they were sailing a pretty deep angle. Anyone who jibes a bit late to go back into Rose Bay might struggle to get over the island, I think.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to leave it late. You're right there.
Yeah.
Because you'll really find it trouble going down the side of Shark Island. But here we are, a big lead. It was 40 seconds at the weather mark the first time. 43 seconds, so he's got every bit of that.
So far, so good. It looks like Tom Needham's
judges pretty well.
Pretty well. It looks like Keegan on Finport has jibed a little bit earlier on the line. But just looking in front of the camera cat here, look very patchy if you get even a little bit too far to the left.
Yeah, we're tied up under Steel Point, and it is, as you say, some very light spots indeed. But here's 1 and 2. 1 on the left, 2 on the right.
At the moment, Yandu down pressure a little, and Finport has plenty. But Finport's about to sort of get into Rose Bay where it starts to get a little bit patchy.
Yandu look to have judged this pretty well for this lay line, as has Finport at the moment. Working hard, straight legs.
I don't know, the Keegan's legs are very straight. They're a long way
apart, but great campaigner Keegan. But here's this young Tom Needham at the helm of Yandu in a really good puff at the mark. You'll see the mark shortly. He's around.
We love to give the boys a bit of stick, Pete, and I was having a little go at Keegan because he's been fairly proactive on the protest front, and he just pointed at the bottom of his mainsail and went, "Green and green solicitors, mate." So he might be getting some legal advice. Yeah.
We'll hear our Heinrich Tom in solidly in third. What a sight behind us, looking back at the fleet. All the boats coming down with their coloured spinnakers towards Shark Island. Terrific sight.
So 13, currently getting 13 knots down at the bottom mark at the moment.
Nice.
When I'm looking at that.
Look at that shot. Fantastic. 18-foot sailing at its best on one of the greatest harbour in the world. Sorry, Kiwis, we've got you covered on that one. Finport about to jibe. He's around the mark. Just extend a little. And then meanwhile, off the western side of Point Piper is a flying Yandu. You can just see him top of screen, gone. Finport got to get this jibe done. There he goes. But here's these are chasing pack Marine Outlet and a really good puff. Just got spiky here. Got bow up. Below him is Sea-Tech. There's Marine Outlet. Just got a bit wobbly there, but the breeze, as always, just picks up here at this jibe mark.
What a difference a day makes for the Black Knight and SeaTech.
Well, from the light winds of yesterday and then the drizzle and miserable conditions on Tuesday 2 days ago, this is the most beautiful day we've had for the series, I think. Marine Outlet jibed early. He's above the black spinnaker of the Black Knight. Next will be ASCC. And then Vycobi and Smeg. Where's the rag? Rag. Oh, there he is with a white spinnaker, I think, Jimmy.
Yeah, just a little white spinnaker just behind Balmain at the moment.
Yes, he hurt down
just
that
to the right of that shot.
Okay, Smeg's jibe. Smeg is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8.
So that's the rag there, middle of screen now.
That's, yeah. There's kitchen maker in front there, and that's the rag. There's the rag. He'll be back in about 12th position. And those on the left of screen are the moored boats that Yandu went inside yesterday and paid the penalty. So Yandu's approaching the leeward mark. Remember, at the windward mark, he was 43 seconds in it front, and we'll get a time here. Right at Clark Island is Yandu about to go round the leeward mark. He's around now. Nice conservative drop, and he's on his way upwind for the second time. Finport, clear second. In a good puff here, Keegan. He's off to the races, laying down to the mark nicely. Remember, 43 seconds was the delta at the top mark. So not far off a drop, the Finport boys. And the breeze, the best we've seen since the start here. It's probably 13 or 14 knots. What was that reading, Jimmy? Was that off the leeward mark here?
Yeah, off his leeward mark. So when Finport goes around, you'll notice a little stick that's poking up out of the centre of the mark, and there's a wind reader on that. Or wind sensor, I should say.
So from 43 seconds at the windward mark, and now the delta is Finport around 57 seconds. So extended by 16 seconds down that run, Yandu. So we'll keep that in mind. 58 seconds the lead at the moment to Yandu, as the Black Knight to come in third. And then a good chasing pack here. Black Knight, just get that spinnaker aboard. They're good. Oh, Marine Outlet in trouble. Big trouble. The Gundy boys and Josh.
If he can keep it away, he's good. Yep, nice work.
They'll get that put to bed. Then around the outside of them is SeaTech from New Zealand. Alex Valings, Matt Stephen and Brad Collins.
Good little short run from the Marine Outlet there from the island.
They've got themselves to the fourth spot, fifth SeaTech. Then ASCC.
So nearly prawn that spinnaker to
yeah, the way they do it. Eli Leifting, Adam Mustel and Josh
just
Sean.
Getting it, aren't they, Jimmy?
Yeah. Vycobi.
It's insane.
Short memories from the other day.
These boats got a little bit high on the run, but they've got to run a bit flat to get around. Vycobi will lead this pack around. It's Kirk Mitchell.
Balmain
around.
will have to jibe.
Jibed. Oh, hang on to it, boys.
Well, they're giving Flynn Toomey some work to do here.
Just what you want to do under a jibe boom.
Yeah.
Try and pack a spinnaker.
Okay, Smeg gets round. Balmain will be next, and hot on their heels is the kitchen maker. And following them will be Rag. So we've got Rag in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th spot.
Ouch.
It needs some work, and I don't know whether he can, no matter how good Harry is, whether he can get back into this race with his number 2 rig on.
Slight build-in pressure, but not as much as what they need. That's for sure.
So the Rag around now. Now, a bit of action here. These boats are 6th and Lazarus are well above the mark. They've got to come back in on Port Jibe. So Lazarus will go behind Akarana Eatery, or Jibe's inside. Let's stick with this. There might be some action here. Akarana Eatery, Lazarus inside him, then Wealth. Oh, no, I think they're going to get round okay. Lazarus on the inside, Tom Cunich, Akarana, then Wealth from Queensland, then 6th, then the Royal Oak, Victoria. Oh, here's a go. Royal Oak
is going.
Oh, they're going. They're
not
gone.
going to
They're gone.
survive that.
They're gone. That was a gutsy manoeuvre from the Royal Oak.
It was a silly manoeuvre.
Yeah, not too good, that manoeuvre. Then Shaw and Partners back a bit today. Then the Hoofler House. Who else we got out there? We've got Goat coming down, Noakes. And as you say, Jimmy, I think Bigfoot Bags and Covers, they had that jib problem just after the start. They're not here, so they're back at the beach. Here's the...
You see anything in there, Jimmy? I can't.
No, I can't, Dole. I'm trying to remember where they rig up in the park, but I can't see anything.
It's Goat just early drop. A little bit too early. You've got Skiff Ropes, Rockstar round before them, and the Heffler House. And there's Noakes with Beck Hancock.
Dole just had a look with the binoculars and could see the Bigfoot in the park.
What a shame.
What a shame.
Yeah.
It's days like today on Sydney Harbour that you absolutely love.
Yeah. Sorry to give you that news, Angus, up there in Brisbane.
The last boat just going around around Shark Island is the Burrawang Hotel at the moment.
Smeg still hanging in there, still getting along nicely. They're probably in about 4th spot, I think. Maybe 5th spot. But
The breeze picked up a bit here.
yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Mike Kobe on a little bit of a charge too off Bradley's head at the moment, so a little bit of a gain to those guys. Once again, disappointing day for them yesterday. They were looking for some redemption.
So we're on the second beat to the Beachel boy. Bradley's head there, and Yandu leading them very convincingly now, probably stepping out even more as they go upwind. Conditions they love. Big sail breeze, fresh big sail breeze. There they are. Just going towards Taylor's Bay, Chowder Head.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pete. It looks like they've extended a little bit again in that half a beat. But we'll see what the time is when we get to the top mark. Of course, we've got the deep VMG run down the middle this time, and unfortunately that's not going to work in the little rig's favour.
No. Be hard to catch up, but the breeze is fresher this time than the first time. It's probably up a couple of knots. A few white caps, or a lot of white caps really, where there weren't many the first time. But that's Yandu. Just to left of screen, C-Tech. So Australians first, the Germans second, Australians third, and New Zealanders fourth. C-Tech approaching attack here. Got a cardinal mark that they can't go inside. Very nice tack. Remembering this crew on the C-Tech, the Matt Stephen and Brad Collins are former JJ winners on the Honda. There's Black Knight.
3-time winners. 3-peat.
Oh, no, Finport still second. Black Knight close to him. Yeah, it's good breeze now. We've got 14 knots. Yandu seems to be revelling in these conditions. I think you've got to say that. But Finport's hanging in, but he's getting challenged really from the Germans and to a lesser extent Sea-Tech. And not far out of it is the Marine Outlet.
Yeah, Finport decided to take a dig out to the middle of the harbour and just see if they can find something. I don't think they found what they were looking for.
They'll need a lot to find, I think. It is Josh Perepsky just tacking the Marine Outlet around and with Cam and Charlie Gundy. Good Lane Cove boys.
Yeah, just starting to peak up to 15 knots near the top mark, so we are seeing an increase.
Yeah, that's right.
So readings from the wedding cake, 15 knots.
But I think...
Yachty just seen him.
No, he's all right. Full marks to him. But looking back now, I mean, the distance between Yandu and Rag, I hate to say it, is quite massive. But this breeze will be freshening and be suiting Harry, Finn and Max. But it's probably come a bit late. Balmain coming in off Taylor's Bay.
Yeah, I'm just noting too, I'm seeing both Finport and Marine Outlet and the Black Knight starting to invert their mainsails, and yet the controllability that Yandu have managed to get from their setup, they're still bladed out and not inverting. So those boys have found something.
Okay, here comes Marine Outlet's the boat that's sailing well today. That's him to leeward to the right-hand side. He's in front of the Black Knight, or be close to Black Knight. Might have to tack here, or I don't think he'll dip it, too big a dip. No, there he goes. Get it down, swing it down, boys, and they're very close to Finport, so really good battle for second and third. But Yandu has absolutely gone. These boys are up off Chowder Head. Yandu's down off the blinker at Nielsen Park. There he is. A lonely voyage for him at the moment, but a voyage you'd be liking. Way ahead. And the breeze just, 13, 14 knots. Was that the reading from the Western Channel pile, Dole, that you got before?
Yes, it was peaking to 15 knots, so which is pretty much what we'll have at the Beashore Buoy. And I can see Yandu just out of shot now, but they're powering over towards that eastern side of the harbour.
There's an interesting manoeuvre here between the Marine Outlet and the Black Knight. Marine Outlet a bit locked in here. He's going to have to wait till Black Knight tacks. And
they're going to be very close to this powerboat.
This... Oh, yeah, he's a fool. He's a complete numbskull. Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, terrific.
He gave us a wave at least.
Yeah. Well, he's absolute contender for kumquat of the day. But anyway, these boys are not kumquats. They're absolutely on fire. They look behind them and they can hardly see the second and third. But there's Finport once we see this three boats. Marine Outlet, Black Knight coming off Chowder Head, but out in the middle is Finport, taking much the similar path that what Yandu have done. Yandu have now tacked back onto starboard. They're 2/3 the way up the beat. It's Marine Outlet and Black Knight, a good speedboat test here.
Marine Outlet are really getting through the water nicely.
And they're the two Kiwis, Sea-Tech. And then down to leeward is ASCC. But out in the middle, approaching the Nielsen Park blinker, is Finport, who's just tacked actually to come back. He'll be across this group, I think. We'll see him in a moment. The breeze more in the left-hand side of the harbour is the pressure, I think, and a bit left in direction too. These boats standing out in the middle of the harbour, but Finport an easy cross for second place.
Really nice breeze where we are right now. I don't know why they aren't over here. Beautiful left-hand pressure on the Western Channel. That's exactly where Keegan York is heading right now.
Yeah, he's clear ahead in second spot.
Exactly when you said it, C-Tech tax, so they're obviously got their eyes out of the boat.
They saw my cap tilted to the left, Jimmy.
Oh, all right, Baz. Wasn't that a fast back in the day?
Yeah, what a joke. But now that we've got C-Tech on, we're a little low on their shot. If we can just pan out a little bit there. See the top of their mainsail? It just isn't looking like it's twisting the way I'd like it to anyway. It's very open in the mid-leach rather than twisting off at the head first. And I've noticed that the past few days, but the boys might look at this footage, and it's a good way to get an eyes off the boat, look at your rig. But I've just been comparing some of these mainsail setups to what particularly Yandu and Finport have been doing.
Yandu have tacked, and they're close to a ley line, I think. If not, they'll only be a little bit short. A couple of little left-handers, they'll get there. As Finport tacking right up under George's head, trying to hit a ley line from a long way out, but the tide starting to come in now. There's that great shot of Yandu. They're loving these conditions.
Yeah, so you look at that mainsail profile.
Looks very different, isn't it?
It's very different. So you can see it's twisted more at the head and the leeches tighter a bit lower down, and that is why they can sail high and fast. Low drag.
Fang Warren, as sheet hand's got a lot to do with this mainsail sail design. He's worked very hard at it. And at the moment in this breeze, it looks as though they've absolutely nailed it. And this will be a big delta here at this top mark. Remembering the leeward mark, the last time, it was 58 seconds. Let's call it a minute for the sake of it. And here they go. There's the Beachel boy. You can see that yellow YA boy there laying perfectly. And a VMG run back to Clark Island.
What do you think, Pete? I reckon we're more around 2 minutes.
Very close to that, for sure. They've absolutely extended. All but there they go.
Here
They're
they come.
around. Time is running. Good little gust they've got too, but straight into a set. I think they'll get set and then jibe over to this western side, I would think. And they're in good pressure. There they go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. They're away down on Port Jibe. Don't forget, straight run down to the starting area, Clark Island. And there they go, straight into a jibe. And then they'll run down the western side of the harbour.
Jibed on a nice gust there too, that's going to carry them down.
Great shot at Finport, Obelisk Beach in the background on the western side of the harbour, just before Middle Head. A Finport on a lay.
Yeah,
No, I think they're short.
A bit underdone,
Yeah,
I think.
he's short. He's got 2 more tacks.
Whereas Marine Outlet and Black Knight look like they'll probably get there quite easily.
Yeah, they're close to a ley line. There's the 2 of them there. They've had a good battle, those 2. They've been locked together. Finport off camera, just tacking back on starboard. He's got about 30 or 40 metres to come up, and then another tack. Clock is still running. So they've really extended from a minute at the leeward mark, and the delta here is going to be very significant. Finport has just tacked off camera, and it's quite close for between Finport, Black Knight and Marine Outlet. Here comes Finport. Clock still running. They're around now 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
Gee, it was 3 seconds out.
Yeah, so he put a minute on that run, that beat.
Sharpen your pencil, would you, Dolly?
Straight into a jibe, Finport. Now the Black Knight in a good puff, probably 14 knots here. Then Marine Outlet. Then a fair gap to... Who we got after that? Oh, who's next? This...
C-Tech, ASCC, and the big mover up this work has been Vycobi.
Yeah, they need a good day today. They've had a couple of disappointing.
Not come today?
No.
G'day, Pat.
G'day, Pat. If you're sitting in the office, mate, stay there.
and work the weekend too, the boys said.
Okay, C-Tech around in second, third, fourth, fifth position. ASCC... So, second, third, fourth, fifth, ASCC 6, Vycobi 7. Balmain have got themselves up to 8th. The Rag will be 9th. There's a speed differential between Yandu and Finport, first and second. Smeg's dropped back a little. Kitchen Makers improved.
Looks like the Black Knight are actually running Finport down a little bit here. Brought a little bit of pressure with them. They are the Black Knight. Heinrich Bugbayan.
Marine Outlet did not jibe quickly. They ran well in towards Bottle and Glass on the northern side of Nielsen Park. And they're out in the middle and absolutely hammering down.
They're running deep too, aren't they, Pete? So good angle. We'll see how that works out when they come back and intersect with Finport and Black Knight.
And meanwhile, Yandu is at Bradley's head. These boys are up off Chowder Bay, Clifton Gardens. Perfect conditions. 14, 15 knot nor'easter. Yandu, there he is. Hope you can see that ferry. The fast ferry. But anyway, there's Finport running in towards Taylor's Bay.
Finport, you just saw Marine Outlet in the background just then. Looks to me like they're making gains, Marine Outlet. If they can stay in the pressure, not lose the pressure over on that eastern side, I think they might make a good gain here.
It's Black Knight, top of screen, Finport.
A lot closer than that shot makes it look too, folks. Black Knight's not too far behind Finport and they're jibing now. Like a little puff. I don't think Keegan will let them go too far without jibing. Here he goes. Keegan York, Matt Stenner and Gus Williams just matching the Black Knight jibe for jibe there. They don't want them to get away and they will soon be intersecting with Marine Outlet. We'll see how that little exchange panned out. Big waves.
I know where that came from, Noel. Oh, there you go. It was the one of the Emerald class ferries that have the big groundswell just went past us.
Big pressure wave. So there's
Marine Outlet's jumped Black Knight here. So it paid off for Josh Perepsky to stay on port around the mark. He jibed back and he's got a clear jump on Black Knight. Good work from those boys. So
I
they've
thought,
got
I
third
thought
place.
they might get Finport, but certainly closed on them, but didn't quite get them.
Yeah, dude, just went through a few waves there. I don't know where they came from. He was leapt out of
To
the
the
water.
left of your shot, Pete, if you look out the window, you'll see where it came from.
Oh, yeah. Complete fool. Yeah. Couldn't go behind them, had to go in front of them. Okay, Yandu jibing. That's Point Piper in the background. Lovely jibe, Marine Outlet jibe, have they? Yeah. Yep. There's just a good battle here for third. They're not far away from Finport in second either. So Yandu off camera, laying into the leeward mark. Remembering 2 minutes was his lead at the weather mark. We'll have another go at the timing here. Some valuable real estate behind Yandu. Yeah, the lovely Point Piper. Here comes Yandu. He's
Deep on the mark.
deep on the mark, but I
Just
think
misjudged that a little.
I think the waves that they had to get over from that power boat just to find flat water was the key critical, you know, like
Just play it safe.
play it very safe.
yeah, well,
They got plenty
Drop.
up their sleeve.
drop, just reach up.
I reckon they've extended another probably
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah, Finport's back off Bradley's, just round Bradley's. So come on, Louis. No time for relaxing here.
No time. I reckon he could make a cup of tea.
No. There's okay, just coming up to the mark, a bit below it.
A little bit of trouble here. That's probably the most untidy manoeuvre I've seen from those guys all week.
Okay, they're around. So Louis still in the boat, tightening the spinnaker drop up. I think might get caught in something there, that spinnaker. Louis still in the boat, off camera. Not at full wick by any means. Mainsail's off. Hope everything's okay. Off camera, Louis Breaks still working on something in Yandu.
Yeah, he's good now.
Just got things sorted out now, so they've been around the mark 40 seconds and just now getting up to full wick. But meanwhile, here comes the pack, led by Finport, and the breeze is about 14, 15 knots again. So it's a beautiful sailing breeze. Lovely day.
It is perfect big rig, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, but not little rig, unfortunately.
I think Finport might have taken a little bit of time out of them here, perhaps. Anyway, it's still a big differential. So Finport's got one more jibe.
And that was C-Tech in the back of that shot there, Pete.
Yes, he's fourth. Okay, here comes Finport. Come on, Keegan, make it easy on the crew. Jibe drop.
Getting soft in his old age, going easy on the crew there, Keegan.
He'll have a go at you tomorrow, Jimmy, saying that. Wow.
He'll ring me before I'm back at the dock.
You know, Gus Williams just gets it done regardless of what you put him under.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, there we go. Minute 50, so they took 10 seconds out of them down that run. So
That little misjudgment from Yandu.
overlay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marine Outlet has got into third spot in front of the Germans. The Black Knight.
Can hear a lot of yelling. I think
yeah,
there's
the
a problem
Black
on the
Knights.
Black Knight.
Yeah, they had the spinnaker behind the leech of the mainsail
Yeah,
for a
that's
second.
not
there.
recommended.
No.
So Marine Outlet's round, clearly third. Black Knight fourth, just getting the spinnaker on board. Fifth will be C-Tech out here. And where do we go after that? We've got
ASCC, then Vycobi.
Vycobi's come out of the pack a little.
Nicely.
Where's the Rag?
The rag is on starboard jibe, approaching Bradley's head. So probably he'll either be the next one in or one behind the kitchen maker.
So coming in here is this ASCC.
Yep.
So the New Zealanders are, a few of them starting to tack, but ASCC will be 1, 2,
Oh, those spinnaker
3,
drops,
4,
Jimmy.
5, 6, ASCC 6.
They make me so nervous the way they do it.
By Kobe 7. There's Vykobi. And next after him will be Rag and Famish. Now enjoying these fresher conditions, but they're already 3.5 minutes behind the race leader, who's up Bradley's.
He's on a nice little boomer on Port Jibe there, coming into the bottom mark though. Nice gust.
Yeah, they're just coming to range with his second rig.
Just starting to come into its own, but I think it's a bit too late.
Now, I tell you who we lost there somewhere is Balmain. Did we see them?
No,
I think we've... looking upwind where we are, I can only see one orange spinning, and that belongs to 6th.
Yeah, you're right, Shippo.
Off Nelson Park, Pete. I think that might be Balmain there without a spinnaker up limping home, maybe.
Oh dear, they've had no luck this week.
Well, we'll keep you in touch if we know anything there, but all we can tell you is that Rag has just gone around the leeward mark and is 4 minutes 30 behind the race leader, Yandu.
Pretty sure you're right, Jimmy.
Yeah, it is Balmain.
Where are they, Jimmy? I'm sorry.
Just up off Nelson Park near the blinker, sort of off the front of Pricey's boat from our
Upright
vantage.
2 sailing, no spinnaker.
Yes, off Steel Point. Well, their day is certainly over. It's a shame. They've obviously suffered some problems. And we're on the final beat of the Heat 7 for the Bill Miller Trophy, Memorial Trophy. The race sponsored today, Marine Outlet. Well, they'll be pleased with the performance of their boat. There they are to the left of screen in 3rd spot. These sail insignias look pretty similar, but there's Yandu just tacking, going back into, well, probably laying up into Chowder Bay. They're almost over at Shark Island. They're doing some long legs, minimise the tacks. In breeze 13, 14, perhaps 15 knots. There's red spinnaker just going past them, belongs to, who is this? Hoffelhaus.
Once again, we're up pressure, and yet that rig looks in total control.
Nice twist at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the Royal Oak. They've had one capsize today. It was quite spectacular at the leeward mark the first time.
Just having a little port started with the 18-footers they were.
There's the Noakes, Beck Hancock, giving chase to those two, the Heffler House and Royal Oak. Beck with Cam Walker and Ben Kirby. Had a great day yesterday. But these guys just extending away. Nothing silly. They've just got to bring it home.
So they're counting at the moment. Yandu, 4 first places and a 9th. And they're dropping a 12.8, which is the penalised score they got from the second race yesterday, which we told you about. They got penalties for going inside the moorings at Point Piper.
There goes the Allen from the UK.
Allen boys still going down. Like they'll be enjoying this day out on the harbour, and even though they're not in the top few, but be a bit better than back home, I would think. Cold spring morning in London.
Marine Outlet. So they look to be pretty clearly in third right now, behind Finport. Keeping in touch nicely. Interestingly, these top three boats all sporting sails from the same sailmaker. Looking well under control.
So nice to hear from you, Gary Leaf. Your uncle sailed with Billy Miller in the Donnelly. Well, that's some nice story. This, as we related earlier, the Bill Miller Memorial Trophy today, and Bill, former Commodore at the club, and also sailed the famous Donnelly for many years. So I'm sure you've got some memories of all of that. Billy, the Commodore, for 40 years plus. Yandu just tacking. Where they're out in the... They're gone, haven't they? Absolutely gone. On Finport. Been challenged a little bit by Marine Outlet, but he's clearly in second spot still, Keegan. But he doesn't want to stub that toe, or he'll... Josh Beretsky will be all over him. They've jumped away from C-Tech at ASCC. Where's our Black Knight friends, Jimmy?
Right over at Shark Island.
Oh, right over there. Gee, Baz Atkins will be loving that.
Went over to say hello to the spectator ferry.
So Finport about 20 seconds ahead of Marine Outlet. There's ASCC and C-Tech. But way over near Shark Island is Black Knight. And there's, in the middle, coming up, is the Rag and Famish.
And in behind them is the Balmain limping home, unfortunately.
Yeah, what a shame.
Smeg going across yesterday's top-performing boat. So the fleet have spread out. It's amazing in these long courses in a breeze. They really get separated. Led by this boat, Yandu.
Round to the left of screen, there's a problem on board the Finport with their jib.
Their jib now, yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, they just sorted it out. I think that just the crew was in, and they've just got back to 3 strings. There's C-Tech.
Would have been a little heart-in-mouth moment for the boys there.
Would have what?
Yandu tacking. He's right in the middle of the harbour, aiming in towards George's Head, so he can go all the way on starboard up there and try and hit a ley line. Might be lucky, but anyway, he doesn't need any luck. They're sailing so well.
I know he's tacked onto a nice little right-hand shift there at the moment. He's pretty high on starboard tack.
Breeze a bit lighter again. It's was light, has come in again, and then dropped away again. It's only about 11 or 12 knots here. Just perfect conditions. Flat water.
It's like a little bit more pressure up where Yandu is.
They're coming into it, I think, towards George's Head. Finport have sorted out any issues they've had by the look of it.
Let's see if they try and pick a one and in up here, or whether they decide to just do a couple of more tacks. They've been very wisely just keeping themselves between the chasing 3 and the next mark. Nothing silly, fairly conservative. There they are.
Yeah, they've got there's a fast ferry coming from Manly. So they'll keep going, I think, to make sure they're well clear of him.
Yeah, I think with that, they'll just keep coming in towards the point, let the ferry go through.
Tack and see how close they are to the ley line, I guess. There's Finport, still going out on port, as is Marine Outlet. What's going on here? Jimmy, we've got Bondi Beach, are we? Gee, we're rocking and rolling.
It's pretty bumpy.
Yeah.
A few powerboats went past, that was about all.
Did you abuse anyone?
No.
Really?
I'll leave that up to you.
Come on. Okay, there's Finport. That's Steel Point, Nielsen Park.
Keegan heading for Nielsen
Yeah.
Park. There he is on screen there now.
Where's the Marine Outlet? They're up in Chowder Bay.
Yeah, so
it's a split.
it is a split, which is pretty high risk on a last beat.
Especially when you're every point you can get if you're trailing, which is Finport. They're only 1 point behind the leader going into this race, Yandu. Black Knight, they've dropped back a little bit. So Marine Outlet clearly third, and Finport have now tacked in the middle of the stream, coming back not in great height on starboard, but still be ahead of Marine Outlet.
Still ahead,
Yeah.
but yeah, a bit of a risky move going over there. Paul Elstrom would be shaking his head at seeing that, because that Marine Outlet closed the gauge there a little bit, I've got to say. Finport still in second, though.
This is going to be the good battle here for second and third. Still got this run to Shark Island after the weather mark, then the run to the finish. So they've jumped away from Black Knight, CTEC and ASCC. This is Marine Outlet's best performance of the regatta so far. He's had a 13.11, a 25, a 4, a 14 and 10 for 10th overall. So this will certainly improve his position if he can stay in the top three.
Having the sponsor here was obviously a good incentive for them to bring out their best performance.
Well, at the Western Channel pile, just short of the ley line, is Yandu powering away. Well, he's past the Western Channel. There's the Western Channel. There he is. Watch that. Whoa, that was close. Look at that clear harbour, beautiful breeze, few white caps, 12, 13 knots. Hello to our friends in Annapolis, Jeff Stagg. Hello to you, Staggy. Now you get up early and watch.
Yeah, bang on with 14 knots at the top of the course here, Pete.
Well, we got that pretty close, I think, Dole, yeah.
Yep.
So Yandu is short of a ley line, quite short now as they get out into the harbour, probably a bit of adverse tide, pushing them from left to right as they look at it. Now, Finport's gone from mid-harbour right to the left-hand side. Now, this is going to be, when we come to them, there's a good cross here. We'll see Finport. He's up in Chowder, just tacked. Some really good breeze coming down to him here, Finport. In a moment, we'll see. Out of the right will come Marine Outlet. There he is. So it's still Finport by 15 or so seconds, but... And right up ahead, Yandu approaching the weather mark. So what did we say? 1:46 the last time. And here's Yandu. One more tack and in. And then the run to Shark and then the run to the finish. At the moment, it has been their day. Basically from go to woe. There's the mark now. Easy lay. This outstanding performance again, as they did in the first 4 races. Really stubbed more than their toe yesterday. They're around. Clock is running. Straight into it. Louis and Fang. Here we go. Bang. Lovely.
Another good set. Oh, one little roll of the waff there, but it stayed up.
We'll give them 9.8 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10.
No, 9.8 I'll give them.
Okay. So, you can see they've been a little bit more conservative. They're just maintaining their lead. Keegan, Matt and Gus sailing accurately as well, but they're just lacking that little speed edge, I think.
So it'll be Finport will be second at the moment, closely followed by Marine Outlet, then the Black Knight, and then probably C-Tech, ASCC and Vycobi.
Behind them, the Rag and
the Rag made a little bit of an inroad upwind in this fresher breeze, but he's probably about 8th or 9th or 7th or 8th at the moment. Lazarus, then Smeg. So meanwhile, Yandu is on his way to Bottle and Glass, Nielsen Park area. We're just, there he is. That's Nielsen Park, right of screen, Nielsen Park Beach.
So quite high on Port Jibe there.
A lot higher than last time.
Yeah, well, last time they laid through, right through past the point at Nielsen Park. And like you say, this time they can't even get past Bottle and Glass. So maybe a little tick in direction around to the left and down pressure a touch.
Not far off a jibe, I wouldn't think. And Finport just short of the weather mark. There they go. There's Yandu.
Take the controller.
Yandu jibing. So Finport just getting off camera, a bit wobbly at the weather mark. Yandu Nelly hitting a bloke in a kayak. So he extended, okay, off camera, Finport is around 220, the delta. So extended by about 30 seconds up that beat, Yandu. That's a fair margin. He's now running back on starboard off Nielsen Park, come out and then try and get the jibe angle right to Shark Island. Finport's around, and about 10 seconds behind Finport is Marine Outlet, clearly in third place. I think these two have got second and third locked away, but what the order will be between Finport and Marine Outlet, I don't know. And where is Yandu going? He's going out and then try and get the jibe angle right. Just a lovely, easy, comfortable run.
Sorry, Pete, I just had to take helming duties for a minute there. What was the differential to Keegan, to Finport?
2 minutes and, what did I say, about 2:30.
Okay.
There's second and third. Someone's jibed out early. Finport's jibed. Is that an Marine Outlet? Which one's jibed early? Anyway, we're on Yandu.
Great
waiting
shot.
His jibe. He should jibe. Yeah, there he goes. And he's trying to get to a ley line to get to this mark at Shark Island. Looks pretty good from where we are. And that's Finport. He jibed away early from Marine Outlet. He's letting the opposition go, Keegan, a little.
And looks like he jibed on some pressure though, so he's obviously worrying more about the breeze.
And in the background, just going around, is the fifth boat, ASCC. In front of him is C-Tech.
There's Finport now, and you can see he's in a nice little vein of pressure there. So he opted to take the pressure rather than sailing Marine Outlet.
Well, Yandu on his way to Shark Island. Marine Outlet almost into Bottle and Glass at Vaucluse Bay there before he jibed. I think Finport has extended. We'll see when they come back together, but it looks to me as though that early jibe that Keegan York did has extended him away from Finport. They had about a 10-second delta at the top mark, but anyway, the delta of these boys was about over 2 minutes. It's running comfortably down to Shark Island. The game nearly done for today.
Yeah, Finport jibed on a gust to get out to the middle. They're now jibed onto a gust.
Yeah, he jumped all over the top of Marine Outlet. All over the top of him there.
He's on a beauty. Lovely shot of the Yandu there coming into the island. A little bit soft down there, Pete.
Yeah, but on Finport, not soft here. They're out in the middle off Nielsen Park in good pressure. He might have gone a bit far at the moment, has he, Keegan? Who knows? We'll soon see.
The breeze will soften as he gets further down here.
Oh, Marine Outlet, yeah, probably dropped a couple of boat lengths there. He's just going almost up to Finport's line. I want to jibe. You want to jibe pretty quickly, I think. There he goes, Marine Outlet, basically following him in. Nice jibe on Marine Outlet. Finport, oh, there's Yandu. He's got high and light, but that's okay. He's got enough up his sleeve. Got very light for him there. You can see him. No issue. No issues there. Will jibe early, I would think, to get back into the game of breeze. And here comes Marine Outlet in third.
Really good, accurate sailing from Josh Perebski and the Gundy boys today.
You can just see how far Yandu is ahead. Those specks in the background of the trailing pack. So, we've said it before, we'll say it again. This has been a top mark effort by Yandu. Strong in these conditions and certainly reinforcing that today.
They've jibed at the island and they're on their way to the finish. Final leg breeze has rotated a little bit around, which might make this leg a little bit tight, but it looks like they've jibed early enough. But the moored boats under Point Piper shouldn't cause them too much of a problem.
Now, we want to make sure Yandu doesn't go in the moorings, Jimmy, do you think? We better keep an eye on them.
I think they'd have it well thumped into their heads that they don't go anywhere near there.
I think Woody will bring out a gun and shoot them if they do that again. Rather rookie error from top-class crew, but you live and learn. But today, they've shown us again and shown the fleet a really clean pair of heels. As Finport, light air, they've got themselves high here. You could say
Yandu in the background.
But running down to Finport is Marine Outlet. They've got a good puff they're bringing down, but they're way in the background is Yandu. Finport will be a bit anxious here. Marine Outlet have got below him. There's Yandu. Now, chasing two have got pressure at the island, but our eyes are on Yandu. That's one of the YA boys on Point Piper. They don't have to observe that or round that. That's not in play. What is in play is the finishing line. About 200 or 300 metres ahead. Yandu on their way. Finport second. Got to get the jibe accurate here, Keegan. I'm sure you can. You've done it a million times before. Matty Stenner and Gus Williams. Here they go into it.
They've left it a lot later than Yandu did. So
lovely jibe though, but lovely work here. These boys on Yandu laying back and just enjoying the ride to the finish. So Yandu will take Heat 7 and win the Bill Miller Memorial Trophy. All but there at the finishing line. Yandu first. Absolutely powering their way to the finish there now. Just see the committee boat just to the left of his spinnaker. That's the committee, the finishing buoy to the right. They're almost there. They will get the gun, win Heat 7 and consolidate their position at the top of the scoreboard. Well done. Yandu first. Now, okay, gun time is running and here's the battle for second. Can Josh Perepsky and the Marine Outlet boys run down Keegan York in the Finport? It's going to be a big ask, I think, from here. They're both below the finishing line at the moment.
Yeah, I did say Finport had left that jibe a little later, and now they're finding themselves having to push for height to get there, which isn't really your fastest angle.
Now Marine Outlet going bow up a little. Come on, Charlie, get that Spinnaker on. There we go. Finport, nice job now. They're down pressure, get bow up a little. Finport are going to get second. And then following will be a group for Black Knight, C-Tech and ASCC. But these two boats below the finishing line at the moment, just. But Keegan got a bit of a jump there. Just got that puff around Point Piper. Now Marine Outlet have got it. With Finport flying to the finish. Yeah, he's jumped away. He's got enough up his sleeve here for second. So there we go. First and second on the point score. First and second today. So Finport will be second. Marine Outlet third.
Great result for those guys.
Yeah, they're a team that have been in the boat all year. They might have been a real surprise packet. They've already had a fourth in one race. A couple of wobbles. The day they got the Spinnaker halyard tied up with the oxygen bottle didn't help them. So
on that, Pete, there was a question left online. What's the oxygen bottles for? It's actually part of the emergency equipment. And it's just a small little tank for a rebreather, or like a spare air, in case someone gets trapped under the boat, so they can get down there and cut them free or whatever they need to do.
Yeah, great idea. Okay, Finport's across, 2 minutes 10, unofficial time delta. Now Marine Outlet third. Looks like C-Tech will get fourth here. The Marine Outlet all but there. Good effort from Josh Perepsky. But good performance by Keegan York as well. Let's not take that away from anyone. He's sailed very consistently, but just on that day, Yandu had that tickle of speed. Were able to step out on most legs of the course. Just watching in the distance, C-Tech fourth. Black Knight, that'll please coach Baz Atkins.
To the left of screen, Finport nearly after the finish put it in the tide.
Okay. There's ASCC down to leeward with a black Spinnaker. Predictably as the Black Knight. He'll be fifth, and then ASCC sixth. I think most of the fleet would have enjoyed these conditions today as opposed to the really tricky light weather conditions of the past 2 days, but you've got to take what's given to you. And here comes ASCC. If they had that nightmare finish in the third heat.
Yeah, dear oh dear. That was
Well,
just a tragedy.
Right on the finishing line.
Second place in the bag and ended up with a DNF. So both those two top Kiwi crews would be a lot happier with that result today.
Yeah, so the first six are done and dusted. And the breeze is still a beautiful sailing breeze of 12, 14 knots as the boats fly home. The next to finish will be Kirk Mitchell and Daniel Barnett and Andrew Stevenson on Vycobi. They've had a real up and down regatta, so they've had a 7th, 9th, 17th, 22nd, 11th, 19, and now a 7th today. So a much better performance from Vycobi.
And a big gap back to the Rag and Famish, Pete.
So I'll do some unofficial
You'll
points.
do some maths, will you?
So you
so
tell me what's happening.
Rag are the next one on their way down. A little bit of a tussle with the Lazarus, but it looks like the Rag will probably hold the Lazarus off, even though the Lazarus has that massive big rig. But we'll wait till they get here, because if things get a little bit soft, the Rag might struggle to hold on, but they're looking good at the moment.
So the news is at the top of the scoreboard that Yandu were now 2 points ahead of Finport. They were 1 going into today with the drop. So Yandu on 14 points, Finport on 16. So it's still close.
Just extended by 1 point.
And who we got next? We got, Rag's coming next. Okay.
Yeah, Rag.
So he's done a good job to get into 8th from where he was.
Lazarus will be next after the Rag.
So Lazarus will be 9. So Rag across 8th position. So that will take them to... So they'll count their... They'll count their 7. So 8th, well, that's a drop today. So they'll be on 28 points. So it's 14, 16, 28. That's a fair gap between second and third, and I'm assuming they will remain third. Because Smeg, where's Smeg? Are they next?
Smeg will be next to finish.
Okay, this will be interesting. Smeg will be 10th. And they will count, will they count at 10? Yes, they will. No, so they'll go to 37.
So we're going to have Smeg going through now, then the Akarana Eatery. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in a tight tussle between the Kitchen Maker and Wealth.
I was just about to say that.
There's almost a carbon copy of that finish we saw the other day, Jimmy, that got very ugly.
At least the Kitchen Maker gave him a little bit of room.
So a Kitchen Maker first across?
Wealth, then Kitchen Maker.
Wealth have been a bit of a silent sleeper in this regatta. They've done quite well. Then Kitchen.
Next up, we've got the Victorians.
Team Victoria, and 6th, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Shaw and Partners 6.
6 will be through next in the Shaw and
Shaw,
Partners.
late 16th for Emma. And then who we got after that? We've got a bit of a gap.
Marine.
Honda.
And looks like the Rockstar, the Skiff Ropes Rockstar.
So no Balmain, they retired. If you've just joined us and wondering where they are.
As did the Bigfoot bags and covers.
Bigfoot, yep, they've retired early. So as we watch who's coming across now. Honda, 17th. Skiff Ropes a Rockstar, 18. Well, I don't know whether we saw any instance that would warrant a protest, but you never know. We'll all say this is provisional.
I'm sure Keegan will find something to protest.
Oh, don't be mean, Jimmy.
The showers aren't warm enough or something.
Geez, you're giving a Keegan a workout today, Jimmy. Good luck.
Maybe
I've got his measure.
Maybe the beers aren't cold enough.
Well, he goes all year infringing everyone else and then gets to the JJs and wants to take everyone to the room.
Yeah, he lures them into a false sense of security.
That's right.
And then comes out like a ninja.
Keegs is a good mate. We can get away with giving him a bit of stick.
6. So I got the ASCC 6 today. So he'll drop the 25. He'll go to 34.
So that's the Skiff Ropes Rockstar just through there now you're looking at.
C-Tech.
Skiff Ropes came on board as a late sponsor for that team. That's Sean Langman's Big Pete Noakes boat.
So I think what provisionally I must stress, we've got on the point score Yandu with 2 more heats to go. No racing tomorrow. It's a spare day or lay day. So we're back for full course racing on Saturday and Sunday for heats 8 and 9. We've got Yandu on 14 points, Finport 16, Rag and Famish 28, ASCC on 34, C-Tech 36, and Smeg 37. I think that's probably correct, but as I say, it is provisional. But anyway, it's very clear 1 and 2, 2 points difference between between Yandu and Finport, and quite a 12-point differential to the Rag in 3rd place. So, as the remainder start to wend their way home, I think we'll sum it up, Dol, by saying, once again, it was Yandu who showed their class in this lovely big sail breeze.
Yeah, another polished performance. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, Keegan, Matt and Gus in the Finport, they sailed a pretty faultless race. I think they're just lacking that little speed edge that that Yandu has. And in going with the little rigger today, I think the rag might have just let those guys off the hook a little bit. It really was moving day today where someone needed to stamp their authority, and Yandu did that, but they've only got a very narrow points advantage. And lastly, as I pointed out earlier on, I think, Pete, 1 drop from 9 races in this regatta. So anyone who notches up another bad one, they'll be carrying it. So conservative, I think, from these lead 2, but they still need good results.
So looking at the weather, as I say, tomorrow we're not with you, but for Saturday and Sunday, I think we're going to have reasonable breeze. That was the early prognosis when we came out today. And I think Saturday's looking very similar to today. There's the early indication, probably a 14 to 15 knot nor'easter. And then more northerly on Sunday, a bit less. And if we want to race on Monday, we've got a 25 knot southerly. Do we want to see if we can hold a race on Monday? Do you think they'd be in that? Be good for us. We'll come out.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. We'll be an obelisk watching everyone as we watch the goat across. And the Royal Oak, he got himself out of a pickle. And then as we look back, we've got a few more coming down. We've got right at the jibe mark is Burrawang, and then before him we've got Noakes, have we, somewhere along the line, and way back Gotcha for Life. But look, I think we'll probably say a farewell from a beautiful harbour. 7th race is done and dusted. Yandu from Finport, Marine Outlet, SeaTech, Black Knight, ASCC by Kobe, Rag and Famish, Lazarus and Smeg. Beautiful big sail, nor'easterly breeze, and once again, Yandu, a clear winner by over 2 minutes. But it was a very good race, certainly for the minor placings, but Yandu now leads the point score by still narrowly by just 2 points, and then a fair gap to Rag and Famish. So the Sail Media team are going to say goodbye, and we look forward to sleeping in tomorrow and then seeing you bright and early on Saturday. We'll be back on the air at 2:20 Sydney time. Oh, the 18-footer, he's coming across the line now as we wind up here. So on behalf of all the team, Peter Shipway, a very good afternoon from a lovely Sydney harbour. Look forward to your company on Saturday.